I'm pleased to announce Mr. Keshav Chandra Sen. Mr. Sen is the principal consultant at Vrumbil. He has mechanical engineering from Manit Bhopal and IIT Kharagpur. He is mentoring EV startups and EV companies and working on a few projects with IIT Guwahati scholars. He was engaged with Tata Motors as head of transmission and quality in his professional career. He was head of South India and also international business after sales. Mr. Sen worked as Photon Senior VP and MLR Auto CEO. He was also head of COE Auto and Manov Connect Business Solutions. He was also jury Make in India and jury Agnes Grambel Excellence Awards. Today, Mr. Sen will talk on EV manufacturing make or buy challenges. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sen.
Okay, so let me quickly, we have 10 minutes in hand. And what are we going to talk is electric mobility, make or buy, sourcing and supply chain. It all depends the quality or the product or the reliability. Everything depends on what you are taking a final decision, strategic decision of make or buy and sourcing, etc., and supply chain. So let us see first what we are trying to say here. Electrical vehicle will be more dominant as we progress. What we discussed just now, you cannot wish it away. It's going to be there, very much there. Second, we have a challenge in hand to make or buy. Why? Because today, mostly we have been used to or addicted to the Chinese kind of component supplies. You know, whatever you want, you go to a store and buy those Chinese components. And Government of India has come heavily on this for the Make in India initiative. Now imagine your business model was something else when you started a business. Your business model was procuring from China. Now you have to procure from India. So that's why this is a big challenge. Price, quality, and source are dynamic. Let me explain this. Today, electrical vehicle components, as we go along, is going to cost cheaper, you know, as we go along. Why? Because volumes will increase, the scale of economy will come. It becomes a huge challenge for us that whatever we decide, either with the price or quality or sources, are very dynamic. Like if you get transferred to a new city, and you have to decide a new ration store or new Kirana store, how will it happen that you start buying from them? Suddenly a mall comes up, or Big Basket starts giving you e-commerce supply at your home. Now, the entire scenario is changing. Same thing is going to be applicable in electric vehicle. What I'm trying to say, you have to be very, very cautious whenever decide a source in price, quality, and the name of the source are going to be dynamic. Technology is rapidly evolving. Today, the technology is kind of overtaking the speed of even, I would say, anything else, and something new is coming every day. Now you have set up your factory with a certain technology and tomorrow it is not there. So again, make or buy. If you are thinking of making everything in-house and tomorrow the technology is obsolete, your whole factory is obsolete. Next, it's important to understand reliability and quality for the non-OEMs. Why? Because OEMs have been practicing, OEM I mean original equipment manufacturers, they have been practicing this for ages, for decades. And last but not the least, today we will focus on these points quickly in 10 minutes and also make you understand, all of you who are participating either as an OEM or a component manufacturer or a policymaker should understand make or buy plays a huge amount of role in the entire business. Okay, let me start. Now, we already discussed that there was a kind of a understanding that when we talk of electric vehicles, the number of components are far, far, far too less. Okay, on your right hand side, the yellow figure, what you see the number of components, and on the left hand side, you have turbocharger, engine, battery, clutch, transmission, brakes, exhaust system, and infotainment, and many, 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 many more. Whereas electric vehicles are far too simple as far as component is concerned. So, as McKinsey says that by 2030, only 11% component will be required of what it is today. That means for all of us, it is important to adapt quickly to this new era of mobility. Now, what are the typical electric vehicle systems? Vehicle body, powertrain, battery pack, and peripherals. Now, why I'm saying this only to show you the opportunities which is existing today. All of it is going to be made in India. all of it, we have to make it. And we have to move away from what we were earlier making in ice. Suppose you're making castings. Let me see if I can put the pointer on. Now, if you talk of castings, they have the opportunity in making other items, so brake system, suspension system. Similarly, powertrains can switch on to battery electronic cooling systems, precision like that. All of them have an opportunity to switch into something which is relevant to electric vehicles. All I'm trying to say here in this slide, that no point in losing heart just because the electric vehicle is coming. All of us have some or other transition available in front of us. Now, coming to make or buy, it is very, very important when you sit with a bill of material, say 20, 30, 40 bill of material, and you decide, you have your strategy meet that for what I should put the manufacturing unit. Sometime back, we were discussing that, what kind of automation, what kind of machine we should put, what kind of things we will buy from outside. Let us see that how it can be finalized much more easier way. First, we list down the strengths in manufacturing, the strengths in our knowledge, etc. Then we list the bill of materials. So this intersection here can be something which can be produced. But the point comes here, the technology needed should be also available to you. That means you can only produce this kind of item inside your factory. Remaining part of the BOM has to be sourced from outside. But if I make a slight shift in my strategy, if I move my strength in this direction, that I improve in technology, I improve my more strengths, then what happens? Let's see. When I improve my strengths, we have the bill of material, we have the technology needed, and this was the earlier area of intersection. Now, if I move the strengths on the direction which is helping me, I have moved this side. See, we have got extra area available where you can make inside the factory. Now, let me take a pause and explain again. Always there's a dilemma what to make and what to buy. It is always good to say that buy everything, be smart, and don't invest in capacity. But the point is, you go on paying transportation tax, you go on paying sales tax, GST, etc., and all those, and then your input cost increases. But on the other side, manufacturing, if you manufacture yourself, you're saving on the profit margin what the suppliers had. So there is always a dilemma, and this is the way you decide that what should you buy and what you should make. Now, there was a discussion on, now let us come to make side of it, the service in the entire scenario, what we should make. And there was a question there by audience that what are technologies coming, and perhaps Sachin may mention that industry 4.0 is very much there. So why not we marry this transition of electric vehicle or e-mobility with the opportunity coming by industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 for Germany means, where it started 10 years back, it means reduction of manpower. Whereas here in India, industry 4.0 can mean slightly differently. We digitize, make a smart factory. We do not reduce manpower, but we have small automations for quality, small automations for information. We have small automation forecasting. And that will be very much required for all of us, whether we are OEM or whether we are component manufacturer. Now, there's also discussion what kind of technologies are also available for 4.0. Here we can have a look at it. We have machine learning, process automation, robotics, high-speed machine measurement, additive manufacturing, paperless manufacturing, real-time analytics, and machine learning. Why am I showing this? Because as you know, electric vehicle will always have a challenge of demand and supply, flexibility, and technology change, etc. So your system has to be more and more adaptable, more and more flexible. And why not? We use the technology which are coming today. These are not high investment technology at this point of time. I'm talking about hybrid of 4.0. In India version of 4.0, we don't go out removing the labors because that will be a very expensive machine. As Gupta ji was telling, we need not always go for automation until this is required. Now, if we have to decide what we are making or what is technology required or what are the suppliers required, we have to understand in the beginning what we said, and me and Sachin both from Tata Motors, that customer is the king, and customer wants quality, reliability, support, performance, experience, and satisfaction. Let us not forget this whenever we're taking decision of particularly manufacturing. Now, let us see what are the failures happening in electric vehicles so that we understand that how we should gear up our quality and manufacturing system. That is something what is happening today. A lot of non-conventional players are coming into system. That's why we do not know at system level what are going to component failures take place. Now, component manufacturers are actually very unfortunate today. They're overlooking the automotive domain to understand. Let me explain. People who have been making cars for years, they understand the importance of stability or NVH, etc., etc. The same thing should be understood by electric vehicle manufacturers. Coming to the next slide. This is my favorite slide, which I wanted to share when we think of making anything or manufacturing anything. You have to look at the avoidance of the failures, what we call FMEA. We have to look at the way we do the entire process of the system. Rather than catching a defective product, we ensure the products are made reliable and in particular quality standard. This is I will not take time on this automotive quality management process, but what I'm trying to tell you here is that with the EV coming in, we have to understand whether we were earlier automotive player or not. There is a system. I need not go to detail. All I'm trying to say, people who are not into automotive systems or not into OEM systems, they have to understand the automotive quality management process, because that has been set for years with the advent of QS 9000, then TS 16949. We need to have quality management system. If we have to make electrical vehicle very, very successful, please, I'm repeating, then the quality, reliability has to be inbuilt in sourcing or manufacturing. If we go into supply chain, these are the issues. We discussed the issues of manufacturing, that supply chain security risk, complexity of increased technology investment. COVID had, you might have seen recently that supply chain issue was discussed even at the Prime Minister's level, because COVID disruption caused the entire world to rethink in the supply chain strategy. Then global suppliers created a lot of problem. That means if I am designing my factory for make or buy, or I'm trying to resource from outside, I should be aware of these challenges. I should not totally depend on something which tomorrow can pose a challenge. That's what I'm trying to say here. Cost reduction, as we all know, electric vehicles are far more expensive today than the ICE vehicles. In short, these are the supply chain challenges or sourcing challenges we need to understand before we embark upon any business case of manufacturing, any business case of electrical vehicle components even. Now, these are all we know. All I'm trying to say here that when we do our EV manufacturing planning or make or buy decision, our energy should go in supplier evaluation as much as possible, because we want steady quality, cost, and time from the supplier. And throughout my talk, what I spoke just now, these are the most important, I would say the most important slide per se, because your vendor selection is something which will decide your quality, decide your cost. So to end, let me conclude. Cost, quality, and supply schedule are important. That means if you decide a vendor, his cost, his quality, and supply schedules are important. Be prepared for dynamic and cost and sources, because today you're buying a motor component from somewhere in Coimbatore at rupees X. It's possible nearer doorsteps, somewhere in Noida or somewhere in Gurgaon, somebody is coming up with far too lesser cost and less transportation cost. As Mr. Gopal Krishna is there in the panel, I would like to tell him that Mr. Gopal Krishna, I was CEO of this Hyderabad unit. I spent 3 to 4% of material cost in transportation, because That time, Hyderabad did not supply any component for my three-wheeler. I hope Telangana government is taking this into account, that they're creating an ecosystem of suppliers also in and around Hyderabad. Move to more flexible smart systems. If now model changes, technology changes, you should be able to, this can happen only with 4.0 or adaptation of digitization, digital transformation, and very good info systems. Understand the reliability of products and incorporate in the system. Now, this is I keep telling and keep people kind of repeating again and again. The electrical vehicle future depends on the reliability of the component, reliability of the entire vehicle. Today, Tesla reliability is half of the best of the IC engines. Half. Can you believe this? Tesla is highest selling model, fine. But our best reliable vehicle, Tesla is half as reliable as that. That means EVs have got long way to go to become reliable. And we, the manufacturers, we, the component manufacturer, have to play very important role in incorporating in the system. And needless to say, right from the Prime Minister to everybody, we are talking of Make in India. And for that, the challenges are there. For that, I appreciate the kind of movement Telangana government is taking in bringing in technology, training, skills, raw material around them. And this is the way which is going to help in import substitution. And so far, even we have found lithium in India. Even I think magnet also will be sorted out one day. So only thing MOSFET, that's your semiconductors. Now with people investing there, I'm sure in few years, we'll be totally independent of imports as far as EV is concerned. And I always repeat, don't forget to consider the business model. That means I put a factory for EV or EV component at when the battery was $175 per kilowatt hour, or it was imported from China, company was imported from China, and after 2 years, some major shift has taken place. Your business model, your business case is going to fall. So these are the few words I thought of making it while discussing the manufacturing or make or buy in this. Either I make or buy. Some of the highlights are these. What are the cautions we should take? And I wish everybody all of the best. And as we all know, that it is an e-mobility or connected vehicle. The future is very bright, and wishing all the best to everybody. Any questions, I'll be happy.
Thank you, Mr. Sen, for sharing your insights on challenges of EV manufacturing, make or buy.